Gogo Noma here. Welcome to your online comprehensive classroom, learning with Noma, taking a closer look at our lives and, at our finance, at our health, at our spirituality, of course. Learning with Noma, it is your home of spiritual learning and healing with Gogo Noma as your host. Welcome, Charlotte. Please do tell me if the network is okay and you can hear me, because I've been struggling to come online due to network. It's raining so nicely here at, on the south of Johannesburg. I'm not sure about the other parts, but it's raining so nicely. I'm enjoying it, but the network is a bit poor. So if you can hear me or if you are having trouble, please let me know. Tavas and do me. Please do let me know if we are having trouble. Then we can maybe move the stream to some day. Good evening everybody. Good evening Charlotte. Hello everybody. Tavazani. Today we are talking signs that might be indicating that you are spiritually chosen. You are a spiritually called individual. My name is Gogo Noma. This is Learning with Noma, your online comprehensive classroom where we are changing our lives one lesson at a time. It is your home of spiritual learning and healing. And if you guys have noticed, I've uploaded I've put now the WhatsApp contact number for any queries in terms of consultation, to ask a question or to give me a topic suggestion. You can either put it on the comments on the lessons that I've done or any post that I've put, or you can email me at learningwithnoma@gmail.com. learningwithnoma@gmail.com. If you're following me only on Facebook, please guys do follow on Instagram. The link is at Learning with Noma. On YouTube, visit the classroom, hit the like button on the videos that you're watching. Do not forget to subscribe, and you are very much welcomed to share, because in this classroom, I believe that a lesson learned should be a lesson shared. So let's get to it. I see everybody is here, and there's no one complaining of network. So let's get to the signs of today, the ones that indicate that you might have a spiritual calling. I'm just going to get dreams out of the way a little bit. We've been talking dreams the whole week, so I do believe that if there's any dream that I have left in terms of spiritual callings, there will be a comment to ask. But I'm just going to go over the dreams or in just a quick way, so that we can get to other things that might indicate that you have a spiritual calling. And I'm going to start with dreams because they are messages from our ancestors and from God, like I've been saying. And in this instance, it will be about your future, where they are preparing you for this ritual that you need to have, or this journey that you need to start taking. And so you need to understand, when you dream, what are the messages that are coming through, and how do you then understand? By being enlightened, by being, by having someone explain to you or interpret, as we say it, the dream for you. The first dream that is very common for spiritually gifted people, and I spoke a little bit about it yesterday, I think, is a dream of going to school. When you dream of going to school, you're back at school, you're writing an exam, you're writing a test, because going to initiation school, and guys, for just in terms of lack of better words, when we are using English, some of the things for me, they lose their essence or the true meaning of the word, because initiation school, you talk about it and then you're told you graduate. Yet when we come into our African context and when we talk about spirituality or ipehlo, we talk about utwasa apeli. So it is initiation because you have just been initiated, but that does not mean, even when we say you've graduated or utwasile, it's just that there's no word in English that we can use to say utwasile, because graduation means you're done. So it's just graduate. I can say it's graduation from one module or from one level of schooling, just like you will graduate at, for your grade 12, and then you will need to go to a college or a university. Tawaza Mulefe, Tawaza. you will need to go to a university, or you will need to go to a college where you will then graduate for your diploma, then you need to do your degree, then you will do your postgraduate, then you will do your masters, then your PhD. So it's just a level of graduation, that you are just finishing one level, but there's actually other levels in spirituality that you go to. So school, even after initiation or after going epehlweni and you are done and you are now practicing sangoma like myself, you can still find people having dreams of going to school, because spirit is just trying to show you that yes, you have graduated from one level, but we still need you to go to the next level in order to, you know, to grow spiritually. Hence the term or hence the idiom, it was akupeli. You never finish in spirit. You are always, there's a level after level after level. For me, at the current moment, I've learned a little bit about chakras and meditation, but I am actually sort of like back at school, because I am doing it intensively, where I'm even, you know, considering that maybe I might take a formal course in it and actually come out with a certificate as being someone who is qualified to also guide or mentor or give that formal kind of teaching. So you never end, because once spirit has reached a certain level, they want you to elevate to another level, and is again because of the people that you're catering for. Now I am no longer just catering for African spirituality, but I'm catering for spirituality as a whole. And spirituality does not have boundaries. I cannot box myself in saying African spirituality, therefore I cannot do this and that and that. Spirituality means I need to tap into ancient China, I need to tap into ancient India. Everything about indigenous spirituality, that's what we're talking about. So the dream of going to school is about that. The more you learn, or the more you are in a level, and it will find that you are now matured in this level, they're going to push you a level higher so that you can go into the next level. Tawaza Matu, Tawaza. And then another dream where we were, the dreams that we also talked about were dreams of water, where you dream of yourself around water most of the time. You're doing things around water, you're working, you're cleansing yourself, and not just being alone, Tawazani, around the water spaces, but also finding yourself with animals such as snakes or the water deities, you know, your mermaids. You find yourself with big snakes, small snake, dragon-like, you know, animals. You see crocodiles, hippos, any kind of animal around water. But again, with those kind of dreams, we need to listen to the dream in itself. The context of the dream is very important, because if, an example, umukwena, a crocodile will be one of the animals that you're going to dream of, and they are residing in water or around water areas. So if that is your clan name, or dreaming of crocodiles and water will then be more to you, you know, a sense of belonging. That is where you belong. You are a crocodile by clan, and that is why you will be dreaming of water. But if you have those dreams and they keep recurring, you're working around water, you go underwater, you find yourself being very comfortable underwater, walking, talking, waking, just being comfortable around water, and you find yourself with people who are healers, whether they are wearing ancestral cloths or whether they are wearing I'll say church clothing as we know it, you know, yellow and white, blue and white, red, whatever. But you are having those kind of dreams, and they keep coming to you, different places or same place, different scenarios. Then we will also consider the fact that you are spiritually gifted. Dreams of flying, which I talked a little bit about also yesterday, which will indicate that you are also spiritually gifted with prophetic spirits, and also maybe abalozi, because abalozi, they are more associated with the whistle and birds. So the birds always fly, and they are up in the mountains or around the water areas. And we'll learn more when I do the different spirits, and we learn more about that, which will be something that's upcoming very soon. And we will unpack all our different spirits from Umguni, Amandawo, and Umdawo. We'll look at Umdiki, Indiki, Abalozi, Amaklecha, Balobo. There's just different kinds of African spirituality that we need to understand, and then you can say, I am spiritually gifted, and this is the kind of spirit that I walk with. But we will, all in good time, we'll get to those lessons. And then, yeah, with dreams, I think I've dealt a lot with dreams this week. But if there's anything that comes up in terms of dreams as I am doing the other side, I will tap into that. But the other important thing with dreams is to remember, when you're spiritually gifted, you usually have long, vivid dreams. So when you are telling your dream to someone, it can go as long as 15 to 30 minutes. And sometimes in your dream, you find yourself waking up in the middle of a dream, maybe going to the bathroom because of the physical, need to go and urinate. And when you come back from urinating, you sleep, and you still find the dream continues. So as much as there was a disturbance of you waking up and going to the bathroom, but when you come back, the dream continues, and you pick up from where you left off. That is you being spiritually gifted. It shows that you are not dreaming, but in spirit you are actually at that place, and these things are actually taking place. You wake up from your dreams. Ooh, the thunders. You wake up to the dream, from the dream, and if you were in water, you feel cold, you actually want to pull a blanket, or you are wet, it's like you're sweating. Your dreams are so real to you. If you were running in the morning, when you wake up, your feet are sore. If you were working with your hands, I used to dream before I actually accepted the calling of Ubungoma, because I started with Isitunya. Before I accepted the calling of being a Sangoma, for me, I don't want to say I disliked or I hated, but I never understood people with beads. I always gave them a look, and I always wondered, why are these people always wearing their beads? Why do they have to wear this thing? I just never wanted, or I was never eager to learn about Ubungoma, but I never understood why they did those things, and I would always question myself. So as my journey started, the dreams that I used to have were more about beadwork, and that's why even now, if you look on some of my posts, or even on the page cover, you will see the magono that I've made with my own hands, beads, and nobody has ever taught me how to bead. Everything I have learned in my dreams, where I was taught the patterns by my ancestors to say, you take this bead, you put it here, this is how you do it. So every work that, most of the work that I do with my hands in beads, they are guided through dreams. So when I wake up, I'll wake up with my hands and my fingers very sore and red, because the whole night I'll be busy doing beadwork. That is how you find yourself understanding that you're spiritually gifted. Your dreams become real. When you wake up, everything that you were doing in the dream, or some of the things that you did in the dream, become, they manifest physically. And like I say, because I was doing beadwork, my fingers would be so sore because I was holding this needle the whole night doing the beadwork. Or if I was in water, I'd wake up after the dream and I'd feel cold, or I'd literally have to, you literally have to sort of like change your clothes because you are wet, you were in water. So your dreams are long, your dreams are vivid, and others, you already have those dreams that are messages, and everything that you dream about comes to pass. And you end up being someone who will be like, I had a deja vu moment. You have the dream and sometimes you don't remember it, but when something happens, you know that I've seen this before, I've been here. Or when you get to a place, I've been here before. And as something is happening in your head, you're like, she's gonna turn right, and then he's gonna say this, and everything, and you're only able to speak after everything has happened, to like, yo guys, I just had a deja vu moment. So those deja vus are actually us remembering or recalling our dreams that we did not, or the visions that we had. You are spiritually gifted. And the other thing about spiritually gifted people, we are known as introverts or loners, most of us. You become very sensitive to crowds. or gatherings where there's many people, and this happens because your sixth sense is very high, or your radar to energy is very high. So when you're around crowds, you pick up on people's feelings, and so you pick up on people's energies, and because of that you end up wanting to be alone. If you walk into a space and there's someone who's sad, even if you were okay, you already feel sad. If there's someone who's having pain in their leg, all of a sudden you cannot walk because now you've got pain in your left leg, and those kind of things make you feel that, you know what, I'd rather just stay at home, because every time I'm around people I cannot enjoy myself. I become sick, my mood just goes down. I don't really know what is happening with me, and then you end up choosing or feeling that if I'm alone, then it's better. We are very sensitive. That's why you find most of spiritually gifted people calling themselves empaths, or we are very empathetic. So you're not just sympathetic. Being sympathetic, it means that you can understand the feeling that someone is having, but being empathetic, it means you actually walk in the shoes of that person. So if the person is having pain on their left toe, you are going to feel the pain on your left big toe. You understand? It is a very overwhelming sort of feeling, because the next person is sad, the other one is happy because they just got their results from school, they've passed their exam with distinctions. You've got another person who's having a crisis on a decision that they need to make, and they're anxious about the decision that they need to make because it's life-changing, and should they choose the other one or the other one, it's very overwhelming, guys. So that's why you end up feeling that I'd rather be alone. I'd just rather be alone. The other thing that we're mostly known for in psychiatry, and I really don't like using these words, but I will have to use them. We end up being hallucinators, or being told that you've got hallucinations. And with hallucinations, it's more your visions. If you're a visual person and you don't dream a lot, there are people who don't dream, but they will tell you, I was looking at, like, I'm just staring at the wall. You find them staring and they're actually seeing things on the wall. They can tell you a whole lot of things that they've seen, or they watch TV and everything just turns a wall. You're watching with them, what is it, that the Generations, the Queen, whatever that you're watching, and they end up seeing something else on TV. Those are your visionaries. So visual hallucinations, where you actually see something happening and the dream, the vision is so clear. Or other times we have olfactory hallucinations, where you are now smelling. You wake up in the morning, you smell of umqombothi, your traditional beer. There's just the smell of umqombothi in the house, and you actually want to go to the space. It's like you can go near to it, or it, or you wake up and you smell sea water. You wake up, you smell rain. You wake, whatever that you are smelling, you smell snuff. You actually feel like, hey, if I can get snuff now, I'm gonna snuff and snuff. Or your tobacco, BB, long, whatever that you are smelling, it becomes very real to you, and you want it. You feel that it is within reach. Or you can have your taste buds. You feel, and they call that gustatory hallucination, if I still remember the word correctly. It's coming out because of Ngoma now. But you end up having that, the taste in your mouth. It's like you've drunk umqombothi and you can taste it even at the back of your palate. Or you've eaten something, your soft porridge, and you can taste it in your mouth. You feel like, I've had it, I've tasted it. The other type of hallucination is your auditory hallucination, where you hear voices, and the voices, you hear them so clear. It's like somebody is speaking in your ear, or they're behind you. When they call your name, how about Noma, you want to respond. And remember, as we're growing up, we were always told, do not respond to those voices. Do not respond to those voices, because it's ancestors calling you. But sometimes it's a clear message where somebody's actually saying, don't turn left, turn right. Don't eat that say you are full. You know, those kind of clear messages that are coming to you as if like there's a person with you in the room who is actually talking to you at that moment. And then you also have your feeling, where your tactile hallucinations, where you actually feel like there's a breeze of wind and everybody's looking at you like, guys, did you feel that? Oh, hi Bo, what are you talking about? Or you feel like someone is touching you and you actually want to look, who's touching me? I'm alone, but you feel a touch. So spirit is around. Spirit sometimes just needs to hug you. There are spirit guides who really love to hug. I know when I consult some people, I'll actually I literally have to stand up and say, if I don't hug you, I'm gonna be in trouble, because your grandmother is here or your mother is here and they want to give you a hug. And if you give that person a hug, they tell you, I could smell them on you, because they are their family member and they know them. So the smell comes through and they say, yo Gogo, as you hugged me, I could actually smell my mom's perfume, I could actually smell my grandmother's perfume. And it's a very beautiful experience for Closey to do that, or for spirit to do that. I love it. It's beautiful. It's too beautiful. And then the other things is people with spiritual calling, you will complain of headaches. Headaches when you go to the doctors, which will be diagnosed as migraine most of the time. And this happens because as a spiritually gifted person, especially if you are not remembering your dreams, or you know when you wake up from a dream and you just feel like, yo, I had a long dream, or I dreamt but I can't remember. That information that Closey is trying to give to you now becomes very blurry in your brain, and it's information or files that are kept without understanding or without being opened. It's the information in your head becomes so it's too much. So the reason why you find most of us being diagnosed with migraines is our third eye is not opened. And we will learn more about those things when I deal with chakras, after I've also learned, like I told you guys earlier, I'm on a journey, I'm exploring. I know chakras, or maybe I thought I knew them, but Closey has now taken me on a journey where I need to dig deeper and understand them on a spiritual level, and not just a physical level. So your third eye is not opened. When your third eye is not opened, you end up having this blurry vision. The headaches cause you to have blurry visions, where you'll be saying, yes, when I have the headache, my vision is blurry, I don't want light, I'm sensitive to light, blah 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 blah. And when they look at the physical manifestations or the clinical picture of migraines, we are then diagnosed with migraines. You have those headaches that cannot be cured. You take all the medication until you get to the last one. I remember I was taking the strongest of them all, and right now I still have a box that is still full of the medication, but money was spent, hospital admissions were done, tests were done, not much was found, but a diagnosis had to be made and medication had to be given. So I started with the lowest until I got to the highest. You get told you've got blood pressure, a problem with your blood pressure is always elevated. Those are the signs that you are a spiritually gifted child, because everything that you see in your dreams, if they are not opened up, or if your third eye is not open for you to understand what Closey is saying to you, then it becomes so heavy on the physical body. And the healing that usually comes, or the cure to these headaches, will then be umbemiso, where you get someone like Gogo Noma, and I tell you, hey, you dream but you don't see your dreams, you don't remember what you've dreamed about, and then I give you umbemiso. And umbemiso, please, it can be different things or different muti at different ndumbas, but you get that. You can snuff the umbemiso and you're gonna sneeze. And as you sneeze, we are opening the third eye, so sneezing is an expected outcome with umbemiso. You can snuff it, or it can be bent with umbepo, and as you inhale the smoke, then it makes you to sneeze. Or you can have ikobongo, where they give you the food for the ancestors to sort of like have them eat and be fed. Togo's the BP, Togo's are welcome. And then you can also, with the auditory hallucinations also, sometimes you might hear drums, whistles, or water sounds, so you're not really understanding the language that the ancestors are coming to you with. Also for that, there is a medication or a muti that we put in the ears that can help you to sort of like hear the voices of your ancestors. So everything that you have tried to cure medically, Western medicine, and it was diagnosed, but the diagnosis was made because the diagnosis had to be made, but even the treatment that you're taking is not really treatment for a confirmed diagnosis. We're still investigating. It can be a spiritual element, and it will need to be dealt with, through spiritual healings and through spiritual muti or spiritual medication. And the other thing that you might find we are having, I'm trying to sort of like remember other things, guys. Okay, I've talked about the headaches, I've talked about the crowds, and again with crowds, you end up finding ourselves having mood swings. You'll be told, when I lead moods, the mood swings are not really yours. Like it so having all those people around you and adapting, I'll say, their feelings or their state of being, the energies that they're carrying, you end up being happy one moment and then you sad the next, or you're upset or angry, or you just feel like, you know what, guys, I'm bored, I just want to go home. So the mood swings is not really that you are bipolar or you are depressed. It's just that you are dealing with a lot of feelings or a lot of energies from different sources, because you're not channeled yet. You don't know how to talk to spirit or how to hear spirit when spirit is giving you messages. Then you end up not understanding what is happening with you. You end up being on depression medication, you end up being on bipolar medication. I remember when I was at nursing college, my 3rd year, that's when I started doing psychiatric nursing, and that is when my gift was, I'll say, sort of like coming alive. And now I was understanding a lot of things spiritually, but I was still in the process of doing izinto zami zosithunywa zaboprofita. I was not yet in the space of ubungoma, so it was very difficult for me to understand what is itlozi. I said it, I'm from a very Christian background, so for me, when I came to Lefehlo, into the initiation school, that was my first line of contact with anything that had to do with African spirituality or that had to do with ubungoma. I learned izinto ezininzi from scratch. I learned that beads are not just worn, they mean something. I learned a lot, even from understanding the ancestral cloths. That is where my teachings began. So I was really at a space of not knowing anything at all when I started. And those are the type of things that also that happens when you are a spiritually gifted person. You are blocked from this world of spirituality until it is time for your awakening. Hence we call it spiritual awakening, because you have been living this life where you were not aware of this world of spirit, and now because Lozi is saying you are ready, come my child, let's walk. They expose you, and it's so beautiful to learn. For me, now with my niece, I am encouraging his mom to sort of like teach him how to pata, expose him to the side. But there's another beauty to it when you learn all these things as they happen. It's healing. It's healing for you, because everything that you dreamt about, you see it happening or manifesting in the physical realm, and you're like, yeah, no, I am gifted. You understand? Nozuko, most things, especially when I wake up, I just want to talk. Hi, it's Uwajoto Wasagago. Present for the class talkers and Nozuko. Yes, we all have different moods. For me, I'm a very quiet person as Unoma naturally. I don't like talking. Talking tires me. I'd rather listen to someone talk. But when it comes to spiritual thing, I walk with a grandmother, and a grandfather, two people who were teachers. And Ugogo was a teacher in a sense of she would gather children around and she would teach them about African spirituality. She would teach them how to behave. And as I learned those characteristics about the people that I work with, that is when I understood why I am being called to be an educator, why I'm being called to explain things to the majority out there, and why I'm being called to simplify things in African spirituality, or in spirituality, as I said, as a whole, and not just limiting it to African spirituality, because I work with educators, I work with people who were teachers, people who taught, and every time I have to come and present, it's very important for me to and invite those energies, because as Noma, I cannot do it. That's why sometimes when I start, you find myself very low, but as I get into it, because now those energies of the guides that walk with me come to be, then I can just flow and I can teach, and I don't really tire it. But when I'm done with the stream, guys, I don't want to lie. I'm sort of like, can I be quiet for 30 minutes before anybody talks to me? So yeah, you need to understand what kind of guides you work with and how are they supporting you in the calling and what you've been called for. The other sign that you are spiritually gifted, I'll call it, most people call it suffering, physical, the suffering of the physical body, where you are always sick. Like I've said, you've got this physical elements that do not have diagnosis, and you are not really diagnosed at a level of this is what is wrong with you. Suffering because you are sick, and when you go to the doctor says everything is fine. Everybody at home is like, attention. You are seen as that attention seeking child or an attention seeker, so you suffer. You are not accepted at home. You are the black sheep, as we are called. I don't even know if we are really. For me, I think I'm the whitest of them all, the brightest snow, like white as snow. Because we are the light, we are the ones who guide, we are the ones who communicate to the ancestors, we are the ones who bring those messages to the family. But until you understand your calling, you are then, known as the black sheep, and you suffer a lot. You are forever at the doctor's room, you are forever going under diagnostic tests, and you are forever being told you are fine, you are perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with you. Or you are given medication, and as you drink the medication, you get even more sick, or as you come back from the doctor, you sleep, the following day you are fine. And for me, I've always seen that as lies of a gifted child. I call it lies of a gifted child, and which is another page that I'm about to start. I'm still working on that, lies of a gifted child, because that is going to be a platform. It will probably be a closed group, because it will be a platform where all gifted people, or all those who are still struggling with their gifts, you sort of like come into the platform and you see that you're not alone in this journey. You share your story, you share things that are happening to you in this private group, and you get help, you get support, you get people who actually understand what you're going through, and who are actually supportive in what you're going through, who are not going to judge you. So that's why I'm saying that I don't know, I'm thinking of making it a closed group. I'm still talking to my ancestors about it, to be guided on how I'm going to go about doing it, where I can also be available, to help and to guide. So yes, watch this space. It will be coming soon when Josie has approved it. So yeah, those are the things that I'm talking about, the lies of a gifted child. You tell people, I had the dream about this and this and this, and they don't understand. But when it happens, then everybody's like, yo, and really. With dreams, again, whatever that you dream about, like I said, it comes to pass. Sometimes you might have dreamed of a wedding. We know your common dreams. When you dream of a wedding, there's a funeral in the house, and other times you might actually dream of a funeral. When you dream of someone dying and that person actually dies, it is painful, guys, with some of the dreams, because you see it, but there's really nothing you can do about it. It's just Idlozi preparing you, or Idlozi trying to prepare the family as a whole to say you are going to lose someone and this is how you're going to lose them. That leads into us having what we call relationship problems. And when I talk about relationship problems, it's not just, you know, your love life, but also with your siblings, with your family, where you are misunderstood, where you find most of the spiritually gifted people, you might have parents who have separated and you don't have a relationship with the one parent over the other. Most of the time, the one parent that you don't have a relationship with, you find that the spirit guides that are holding you are actually from their side of the family. This is, again, a way of healing and mending the family. There are so many secrets and lies that we carry with us generation after generation, and when spirit wants to heal, sometimes there must be separation. Ba aruhanya before ba kopanya. Things needs to be shifted. The clay pot needs to be broken into pieces, because it is already broken into pieces. So things are going to fall apart before they are brought back together. There will be a storm before the sun shines. We need to understand as spiritually gifted people that before you see the sun, before everything, you know, comes to be, before you see Gogo Noma stay, you know, here on Facebook teaching, I had to go through a lot, and hence I prefer to say I'm a spiritual educator, because in education you learn that a teacher is more someone who's given a curriculum or a syllabus and they just read it and they learn about it, but an educator is someone who has gone through the experience. That's why when you look at nursing, we talk about nursing educators, because you first have to have your nursing qualification. You then have to have certain experience in the field where you are working bedside nursing, and then only will you then qualify, go into postgraduate, go into your degree, do your education, and then your postgraduate and whatever, and be a lecturer or an educator in nursing. You have to live the experience first, and you cannot teach. Therefore, I cannot come and teach about spiritual things if I have not walked. Some of them, yes, I did not experience firsthand, but through consultation, through my clients, through the people that I'm helping, I become involved in those kind of things. So what's that, Robert? Josie, time is perfect timing. Welcome. Mantu, I am from a big family, and 60% of us claim that we are spiritually gifted because we were told. Masiyohlola. How possible is that? My grandmother was Untandazi, but okay. I'll come to your question, Mantu. You know, in Sesotho we have this song that we say, you are children of the same bloodline. You must all be, you know, spiritually gifted, or you must all initiate. I always say we are all spiritually gifted, guys. Each and every one of us have a certain spirit that we walk with. We have a certain closey that is sitting on us. All of us are called, but not, I'll say we are all called, but a few are chosen. So when you go uyohlola, I always emphasize that you need to be inquisitive. You need to ask questions. The minute I say to you as Mantu in my Ndumba, I'm talking Ndumbeni while spirit is there. Remember, Manghlola, I've invited your ancestors to be present. So the minute I say to you, you are spiritually gifted, ask, how am I spiritually gifted? Because other people, you are spiritually gifted through your dreams. You've got visions, so you must not take your dreams lightly. They are messages from your ancestors, and that is how you're going to work. You're going to know that if I've dreamt of something, it's a message and I need to take it seriously. Not that you're twasa. No. You're just going to work through your dreams. Other people are spiritually gifted because you are working with a grandmother who used to heal with water. This person did not initiate, but there was that thing or the connection between them and water. When someone was sick, they would take water, pray for it, give that person who has a headache, and the headache would be gone, and that will be the last time that person has a headache. Abanye, they were midwives. pregnant women will be sent to them. They were able to shift positions of the baby. They were able to take a breech child and put them in the correct position where the head is the one facing down. All those are spiritual gifts. So yes, most of us, we have ancestors that were spiritually gifted and they come back and they want the gift to continue. But when you are told that you are spiritually gifted, please do inquire, what kind of gift do I have? How am I going to work with this gift? And it was my Teluguti will come back and give you more information, but please do understand that you are gifted. There are people who are spiritually gifted, like I said, with water, where you need to be at the waters to get your spiritual healing powers, because as you talk to somebody, your spiritual gift is in word. Remember, we are told in the beginning, there was the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and everything under heaven and earth was created with the Word. And we are told that the power of life and death lies in our tongue. When there are people who are gifted with their word, as you speak, people get healing and you don't even realize it. If I ask you a question and you answer me, I always think, oh, how did she even think of that answer? Yesterday we were talking, I think it's Viwe, who was talking about how she sings in church. That is a gift. You are spiritually gifted in a sense that just by singing, you heal people. So when you are told you are spiritually gifted, for me the question is always, how am I spiritually gifted? Understanding your gift and living your purpose and living your truth. This thing of going and doing being told you are gifted and Melu Twasa, why are you going to Twasa? First of all, when we go through the process of Twasa, there's a certain spirit that is coming to be. There's a certain grandmother or certain grandfather that we are resurrecting. That is why earlier I was saying this thing of resurrection is not a new concept in African spirituality, because we understand there is the birth, the death, and the rebirth. Because we are first spirit, then we come into the physical being. When the physical body dies, spirit is reborn again into the spiritual realm. But now it's a different type of spirit, or it is a more matured spirit, because it now has the experience of the physical realm. And when we now say Uyotwasa, we are talking about the awakening of Gogo, or the spirit of Gogo. That's what we're talking about. So the minute you are told about being spiritually gifted, just have questions, inquire, pasha about it, and understand what kind of gift you have. The problem is, once we say spiritually gifted or you have a spiritual calling, then, when we say that, that is, for me, let me put it like that. When we say you are spiritually gifted, we are saying you've got a gift from your ancestors. You've got spirits that work with you, that have given a gift that you need to use. And like I say, we are all gifted. We all need to know what is our gift and how we need to use it. But when you say you are spiritually called, then we are talking about something different. You are called, you need to go and answer the calling. So there's a difference between spiritually gifted and spiritual calling. And I think right there, Rosie just made it clear also for me to say we are all spiritually gifted, but we are not called in spirit. So that is the difference between spiritually gifted. We are all spiritually gifted, but we are not all spiritually called. I hope that I've sort of like gave light or Lesedi on the matter. Like I say, guys, every time I do these teachings, I'm also learning. Spirit comes in and say, hey, we are trying to explain it, but we don't understand. Let us simplify it for you. And they just did that right now. So yes, and I'm trying also to think of other, okay, physically, you might also experience pains. That is just the physical elements. I think I've covered it with that, to say you will end up having other pains somewhere and not understanding. So I'm happy. I've also learned today, Spirit teaches us all. That's why it's called Learning with Noma, because I'm sitting here and Spirit is taking the opportunity to also teach me. The other thing that you can see physically manifesting is the burping, where you burp. The pain, when I talk about physical pain, you might feel as if like baba, mostly at the back, where you actually want someone to tap. This ball keeps going up and down, either at the back or here in front, just by the stomach. It just gets stuck before it reaches up, or you get heartburns. Yeah, they would call them heartburns as physical manifestations. But you want someone to tap you, and as you burp, you feel better, or as you drink water and the burping comes, you feel better. And we are then taught to say, excuse me when you burp. Well, excuse you for who, for what? I don't do that. You say Tawazani because you're acknowledging the presence of your spirit guides. So every time you burp, do not feel embarrassed. Actually be happy, because your ancestors are saying, we are here, we are present, we are with you, we are in agreement. If you're in a discussion with something that you are discussing. I was at I worked at a space where we had a shared office, and my colleagues ended up having to understand that when I burp, I'll tell them if I'm not drinking Coke, or I'm not if I'm not drinking anything fizzy and I burp, I can't say excuse me, because then I'm saying sorry that my ancestors are present and they will church, they won't come anymore. I need to say thank you, Gogo Noma, for being here, even in my workspace, for guiding me, for giving me wisdom. I work with people in nursing. You are a healer, and we don't just go to heal with the book, but you need a higher energy to be there, to be present as you touch those people who are not well, because some come with spiritual disease manifesting in the physical realm as elements, physical or like sicknesses or illnesses. As you approach them as a spiritual person, closely shows you see this person is here. Yes, we understand you're giving them your antibiotics and your pain medications, your analgesics and your whatever, but they're actually spiritually diseased. They need a spiritual touch, they need a spiritual healing. So I always had to invite my guides around those kind of spaces. So burping is one of the signs. And then physical manifestations, you guys, I don't know if there's anything I'm missing. You will help me. Let me try to think. Okay, for me, the other thing is feet. Your feet, you always want to walk barefoot. You don't want your shoes. I remember for me, when the calling for Uktasa came, my work shoes were the smelliest of them all in the house. I would literally come back from work and have to leave my shoes outside. They were the only shoes that were smelling. All my other shoes were not smelling. I bought food powder. I would have anything that was described or that was prescribed by the pharmacist over the counter. Nothing was working. But I had a problem of sensitivity to the ground. If I put my foot on the ground, my whole body would just be in a state that I could not understand. So I always grew up as a child who was never called to say, wear your shoes, what and what. I will never walk on ground with my feet. Like never. I was very sensitive to ground. So you can either be very sensitive to ground, or you can actually want to always be barefooted. When you get to a space, you just leave your shoes somewhere and you remember them as you leave. People know you as that person who always wants to be barefooted. So that is one of the physical signs that can manifest that you are a spiritually gifted child. And then what else? I'm trying. I think those are the things that I can think of at the moment. If there are any questions, you guys will post and you will ask. But yeah, we've got dreams that are vivid, long, and you can remember them. Some of the dreams are so funny. Someone will tell you that, Gogo, I had a dream, but I woke up from a dream in my dream, and then I had to wake up. So you had a dream that you were dreaming. You are sleeping, it's night, you are dreaming, and you wake up in your dream because you realize in your dream that, hey, I am dreaming, only to wake up again in reality to say, ish, I was dreaming that I was having a dream. Those kind of dreams, they are indication that you are spiritually gifted. Everything about us, guys, it's classified as abnormal, but actually once you get to understand spirit, you understand how normal you are and how abnormal the rest of the world is. But yes, those in short are the signs that you might be spiritually gifted. Those are the things that will happen in your life, or those are the scenarios that will happen in your life. You walk into spaces, you find people already saying Tawaza Gogo, like Tawaza. I remember before because I did Istumia, like I say, I would always have people come and, Tawaza Gogo, I'm like, Tawaza. And they would see me already as a qualified Sangoma, a practicing Sangoma. I'm like, I don't even know anything. I don't know nothing about that. But your energy, your aura, your spirits will already be there. People will already see you as that person who has finished their process, or that person who has gone through the process. Your energies will tell them, or they will acknowledge the entourage that you work with, because Uktwasa is just the physical manifestation and the formalization of your spiritual calling, and the mentoring into you understanding your spiritual guides, who you walk with, what do they want, how do they talk, what are their names, what kind of gifts are they going to gift you with, and what kind of healing are you going to be giving to the world, whether it's through healing, seeing people and doing any healing, through education. But you will then have to learn. Okay, let me see. Mahotso says, Thokoza Gogo, what about sore teeth as a gifted and called child? How can you deal with the sore teeth, and does it have any significant meaning? You, Mahotso, yes, teeth. I forgot about the teeth. Yes, teeth, they do have a very significant meaning, guys. And most of the time you find that you do have teeth problems. For me as a child, I don't remember having a milk teeth fall. All my milk teeth was taken out in theater because all my teeth were already having 3 roots. You know that milk teeth is supposed to have 2 roots, so mine were already having 3 roots, and all the other that you see now, my adult teeth, were fully grown in my gums, so the others had to be taken out because now my gums were becoming septic and I was having problem with my teeth. But yes, spiritually gifted people have a problem with their teeth, and I wanted to say it, but Lozi is telling me not to really sort of like give the reason why you have those problems with the teeth. But it is a very significant sign as a spiritually gifted person. In brief, I will just say, when you look at uklola or intlolo, we use bones, and with bones, they're more the way that ancestors talk to us. So when you look at our teeth and we look at some of the bones that we use, Dlozi will always use your mouth as a tool for them to talk. So teeth problem, yes, very significant to a spiritually gifted person. Unfortunately, we all get, you end up realizing it after you've done a lot to your teeth. But when you have a problem with your first teeth, your second teeth, by the third one, try to go see a spiritually gifted person who can then guide you and give you medication on how to deal with it, because you'll end up having no teeth at all, taking teeth after teeth after teeth out. But it is very significant, and it also sort of like brings you into an understanding that your gift or your calling might be more towards ubungoma, where you will be using bones to consult. So yes, they are very significant, Makoto. I hope that I've given sufficient information on that. Sometimes, guys, I cannot really go too deep, because as I go too deep, my phone doesn't want to look at your message, Matu. Okay, there it opens. All right. If I go too deep, I might also be jeopardizing the journey that ancestors want to give to you, or I might be giving you an answer from my own experiences and how I will explain it. And when you go to another healer, they will give you an explanation, but in a different way. For me, it's just to say, with teeth, it is a very significant indication that you have a spiritual calling, and the calling is more towards like uklola with amatambo, throwing the bones. Yeah. What does dreaming of intensely arguing with someone mean? Like for more than 3 months having the same dream but in different settings. The last one got physical. Okay, so now this person has to, you first need to identify the person in your life. What is the relationship? Is it a colleague? Are you in a love relationship? And then how are you physically thinking about the person? Are you are you physically or like in reality, are you having problems in your relationship with that person that you're not dealing with? You know how we sometimes, for the sake of peace, you're just gonna grin through everything. I did that, and it did not turn out right also, and the dreams kept coming, and like you say, they become physical. Now you don't want that to happen in reality, because what it is showing you is that you are hiding the feelings, the true feelings, or the true emotion around the relationship with this person, how their behavior makes you feel, how the way they talk to you makes you feel. You are suppressing your feelings, and very soon you are going to explode. So be very careful. Otherwise, if it is not someone who you are close to, they might be indicating a certain person. Look at the relationship that you have with that person in your dream, and check the relationship that you have with someone physically in your life right now, and really do some checklist on feelings around the relationship. So yes, it's a warning that you are suppressing your feelings and you're going to explode soon. You're a ticking bomb. So yes, take care of those feelings and be careful. Be careful. It's a warning, and we don't want you exploding physically. People are laying charges of assault, and people are being held in prison for assault. It's a criminal record that you don't want to your name. So yes, deal with the feelings, make a checklist. Okay. So Razani, guys, I don't know if there's anything. I'm also trying to open my book here to try and see if there's anything else. Okay, and then the obvious one, obviously, when you dream of ancestral things, when you dream of Amabai, when when you dream of ancestral, things, you dream of Indumba, Iskwama. Some people are already given the bag of bones that they will use. Sometimes you will dream of your grandfather giving you this kwama, because he umnigas was kwama. We always talk about umnigas was kwama, umnigas wendumba. So those kind of things, you dream of Indumba. They tell you how they want Indumba to be. You dream of this kwama, you dream of ancestral cloths, you dream of certain beads, because all those dreams about ancestral things, they could be an indication that, yeah, and most of the time when you dream of ancestral things, they are now telling you that we've given you too much information, you're still sitting here, you're not acting on it, it's time to move. So they'll start showing you in GT, to more tell you are spiritually gifted and you've got water people. And one day we'll do the cloths amabai, and I'll give a just a brief understanding of what each bayi means, because sometimes also when you go deep, people start having dreams about things, and yeah, we don't want that. We don't want you to be taking something that is not yours. I tell you that Balo is for kings, and when you've got the Balo, you're gonna have spirits of kings, and you will go high, you will be rich, and then yay, all of a sudden I've had a dream about Ibalo. So I'll just give a brief indication to say if it's Balo and JT, Moyo Ndawa spirits, or Moyo water spirits, and also lion prince. But when you start dreaming of those ancestral cloths and ancestral things, they are now indicating to you what kind of spirits and how they want to be dressed. You start wearing beads, they are showing you what kind of beads they want. That is their clothing. And again, with beads, it can also indicate to you when you come to me as Gogo Noma and you say, I dreamt of wearing this type of bead, or I was given this type of beads in my dreams. That is an indication to me, or a confirmation to me, that yes, I am going to be Ikobela Yako, because those are beads of Impande. Or yes, you do have a spiritual calling, because in this Nguni, we use this type of beads, from Nguni spirits for this type of beads. And those beads can mean different things to different umbanza sometimes. Like I said, in spirits, we don't have an umbrella that fits everything. We've got a big umbrella that accommodates everything that happens in spirit. All our spirits walk differently. So yes, when you start dreaming of ancestral things and being given instructions on what to do, that is an indication that your time is up. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share with you guys today, and I'm so happy that I also got to help you answer a few questions, guide spiritually. The only thing that I will close with about being spiritually called, I said, guys, we are all spiritually gifted. When we are born, we are all born like this. We all have a gift that we come carrying. We all have a spirit that we come with that is going to guide us. That is why in the olden days, when it came to naming a child, the minute a woman is said to be pregnant, you will find there will be selected women in the family who will go and talk to the ancestors endlini Gogo in Zulu, or they would go to the sacred space umsamo bayophahla and tell the ancestors that, hey, ngwetsi ya lona e se e imile. They will go and report the child even before they are born to the ancestors. And before the child is born, you'd find that a name is chosen for the child. And no matter what a boy or a girl, the name will stick with you. And that's why you find tabang of girls when we know those names as more boys. Is because they understood that there's a rebirth. The naming of children after our ancestors came from that, because we understand there's a rebirth of someone in our bloodline when a new child is born into the family. So yes, we are all spiritually gifted, but some of us are spiritually called, and being spiritually called does not mean that it was Lako is holding you hostage. I'll never come and say to you, if you don't trust now, you're going to die. That is an ultimatum. And Closey does not do that. Closey wants you to learn, and they want you to grow in spirit. So when it's time for you to trust her, they would have informed you of what needs to be done, and you will also be in a space where you are happy and you are able to understand what Closey is saying. Okay, no Zuku, you'll probably be the last one for the night. Gogo, I dreamt of those white shiny stones that are sold with ornaments, more sheet street. Hey, when will I even know? Dilimos the of Aaron Devil, and someone told me Kimutu one more. Yeah. Okay, remember when it comes to shiny things, Rosie likes shiny things, because even how go Tlahloba, or when you come to give an offering to Rosie, and which is something that I've also been instructed with, especially when it comes to those who come for face-to-face consultation, there should be a shiny, it's just a recent instruction from Itlosi, there needs to be 1 rand or 2 rand on top of the money as a. So they used to trade like that. Remember with Itlosi, when colonization started, that's when we started trading, and shiny money was the most appreciated thing. It was the most valuable thing. So you always dream of those shiny things when Rosie is trying to show you to also maybe give them an offering. Maybe you need to, I don't know if you've got a space where upahla kona umsamo wako, take 2 rands and rands, maybe a 10 rand, make it loose, and put the shiny money around the space where you are pahlaring. That's just something that's coming to me as you're saying this. And since you also know those white stones that you were seeing, maybe go and buy a few and put them around your space. More when we talk about rentavels, we are talking about that is why even Dindumba, most of the time you find them as rentavels, because that is where they stayed in the olden days, or that is how in Gogo would be made, where Siyohamba Siyopatla Kwana is, in that sacred space. Buy them, put them in Samo, or where you patla if you only have a space, or put them in your bedroom, on your count, like on your headboard, somewhere where you can see them, but introduce them again to your closet to say, here are your stones, guide me, show me what needs to be done, because this is your gift unfolding. And I know some of the things, you collect them even before you are able to understand why you need to start collecting them. When the time comes and they are needed, you say, oh, that's why I needed to buy that, that's why I needed to do this. I collected a lot of things, especially stones. I collected until the time came and I understood why. Everywhere I went, if I went on a holiday, if I went to the waters, if I went to a mountain, I'd come back with a stone. I didn't know why, but now, because Spirit was guiding me at that time, I had to bring all those things back, and now I know why I had to bring all of them back. So yes, my Nozuku, please do go and buy them, but again, consider taking money, getting it loose, and just putting it around your area of upahla. We need to, and this is again just in general for everybody to say, we always go to pray, to ask, whether you pray to God alone or whether you are phahla and then you pray. We always go to ask, guys. Sometimes we need to come with gratitude, with thanksgiving, and we also need to come with offerings. Bring to your ancestors water. Offer them water to say, you know, you protect me, you bless me, you give me messages in my dreams even without me asking, you are guiding me without me asking. Here is something for you to drink. You just offer them water. You know Gogo loved tea. You just make tea and you put it lapo. Here's tea, Gogo, drink it. You come and you just offer them sweets because they liked sweets. Your people want shiny stuff. You give them money. Because then if you offer to them, they will also bless you back. Tabazan. Alright. My name is Noma. This is Learning with Noma. Like we always say, your online comprehensive classroom where we're changing our lives one lesson at a time. It is Learning with Noma, your home of spiritual learning and teaching. If you're following me only on Facebook, guys, please do go to Instagram and follow at Learning with Noma. On YouTube, just visit to go and click the subscribe button. Let's get the numbers up on YouTube. And share the lessons after we are done here. Please do click the share button, put it on your Facebook news feeds, let people see, let people come to the class, invite more. A lesson learned should be a lesson shared. And if you want to contact me to ask a question or topic suggestion, you can contact me via email or even consultation, learningwithnoma@gmail.com. And I have just in a few hours, like a few hours ago, I've just put the WhatsApp line, so you can WhatsApp me and we can talk about consultation queries there, where I can give you contacts on how to consult me. Yeah, that is that for today and for this week, our dream interpretation week. We're closing it off with the signs that you might be spiritually gifted. If you found the information in this video insightful, do share the video. Lesson learned should be a lesson shared. My name is Noma. With big love. I'm sending love and peace and light to you guys. Lesedi Badimu. It's Noma, the Badimu child. Until next week. Probably Sunday latest, I'm sure. If there's anything Josie is inspiring me to teach on next week, that we will make a week. I will probably do some teaching sometime next week, but I'm going to look at my diary, just see if I can do a whole week's teachings again and see what we can talk about. Guys, please do suggest, ask a question, give me topics that you want me to cover, and I can see what we can do. Tabazani, good night everybody, and thank you for joining the class. Lesedi.